Today's guest grew to 58k YouTube subscribers in under 2 years.
Hard work does not equal success. I've come to learn that the hard way. It's combining hard work with smart work.
Originally started editing short movie clips for fun, he realized his way of storytelling was a unique approach to the content game. After getting inspired by tons of big names online, he started posting his first piece of content. He didn't see any success for months, but after putting in more work, he started seeing his first few thousand views. He stayed consistent for more than a year and it worked out for him.
We're talking 50 views, 60 views a video. And that's the time where it's so hard to just continue. You know, like you're posting, you're seeing small results.
In this episode, we dive deep into the unorthodox strategies he used, how he developed his brand image of disciplined self-improvement, and how his life changed when he quit university and started this journey. Dan Zakaria. All right, everybody, welcome to the TCU podcast number 3 with my man Dan Zakaria right here. Welcome to the TCU podcast. For the people who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, man. It's nice having you here on this podcast. Thanks for inviting me. So I'm Dan. I'm 21, and basically I make videos on YouTube about self-improvement, discipline, mindset. And funny story about how we actually met, me and Josh. But I think we'll actually discuss that later, part of the podcast. So go ahead.
Thank you. That's super interesting. I mean, Dan scaled from 0 to 46k YouTube followers in under 2 years in the self-improvement niche. Because many people thought like self-improvement, the hype was already over on 2021, 2022, like after Corona, but he actually started his channel after that whole phase where Hamza and those people blew up. So yeah, let the people know out here, like what did you do? Probably like what research did you do at start, and like how, first of all, did you come to this topic that I want to like make YouTube videos for a living now? Like it's like a hard decision in it.
Oh yeah, man, it was a very, very long journey. I'd say one of the best things that ever happened in my life. So it started 2023 September. That's when I uploaded my first video. And it is actually, the story starts a little bit before that. So personally, ever since like 2022, I'd say, I always wanted to do something, business-wise. I wanted to make money online, become somebody, achieve some type of success. And that was in part due to all the YouTube videos, all the, I was watching Iman Gaji, I was watching Ali Abdal and Hamza even. And pretty much like all that inspiration, all those videos, it like planted the seed in my mind of just wanting to do something else. And I tried many different things. Nothing really stuck. But eventually YouTube was the one thing that I felt like I could stick to for the long term, even though it took a long time to see results.
Super interesting. I mean, I had a look at your old videos. I mean, you have still like 20, 30 videos up there, which are like just on 200-300 views. And that's super interesting and inspiring to see for the people also out here. I mean, I'm going to link Dan here in the description so you can also check those out. Just like, those are like really old videos. But I mean, we already saw like your journey that you just stayed consistent and no matter the views, just like you just love to talk about this, right? But now it's super interesting to see that you could influence so many lives in the meantime. I mean, you just like blew up like 2-3 months ago, is that correct?
Oh yeah, man. So there was like a long ass time where I was just posting no views, bro. We're talking 50 views, 60 views a video. And that's the time where it's so hard to just continue. Like I never in my mind had a doubt that I wanted to quit in a way. But it was like kind of painful. Like you're posting, you're seeing small results. It was this December 2000, I can check quick here. December 2024. So almost a year ago where the first video started to gain proper traction. It's one of the most viewed videos as of now. And then after that, funny enough, there was like a 3-4 month period where the other videos, everything else I uploaded, it did okay. But like I had that big kind of spike, and then for a while I also had like a plateau, which was also like I had all this time and then I had the final break and then it didn't sustain. So that also made me kind of a bit doubtful. I had my days and stuff. But then a couple of months ago, we're talking like September 2025 this year. That's where we started to really like remodel everything in terms of thumbnails, titles, and just take everything to the next step.
All right. What would you say did you change from the plateau which you just mentioned, right? I mean, you had like this one video which got like crazy views and blew up, but after that you had like a certain phase where it just yeah didn't work anymore, the like new style, right? But what did you do differently between the plateau phase and the phase where you are at right now, where you're like just getting crazy views, consistent posting, and just like yeah keeping up the quality and views and people who just love to watch your videos?
That's a good question, man. So I'll answer like this. Pretty much, I'd say the videos are mostly the same compared to a couple of months ago in terms of what I was saying and also the visuals. But the one thing that really changed is footage. So before I had some footage, I was taking like footage of me journaling, me reading and writing and exercising because that's the niche. So like self-improvement, you want to have the B-roll, you want to mix it up. And it was when we really started to take the footage seriously. So I'm working with my best friend right here. We've been working on the channel for around a long time, but 2-3 months properly. So like November, September, October, November, like full time, locked in together in a room and just grinding, making videos, editing, planning, scripting. And it's really when we started doing that it started to change and like level up. I think you can even see the thumbnails. You'll notice a huge difference in the thumbnails from August and before. They're kind of like, they're not bad, but they're just so mid, they're so average. And then you see like a huge change in the format, in the cinematics, the visuals. And I think all those changes, they compound and they give you that final result in a way.
Yeah, no, but yeah, congrats. I mean, it's really, really cool to see that you're still growing, and yeah, definitely really hyped to see. And I think also, yeah, the viewers out here agree to just, yeah, we are all really interested where the journey is going. I mean, if you continue uploading videos like that, I mean, soon you're at like 50, 60, 70, and even like 100K within the next 1-2 years, hopefully already. But yeah, what would you say thumbnails wise? Did it require necessarily more work, or was it just like a better research you guys have done, or took some inspiration of other people, or like what was the flow there? I mean, a thumbnail isn't necessarily a thing you're working like days on, but it's like I think just the quality and the research you do, or I mean, you're the professional here. Tell us.
Oh yeah. So actually, it's a funny thing you said that. So in terms of thumbnails, it's like in general, hard work does not equal success. I've come to learn that the hard way, funny enough. It's really just like combining hard work with smart work, knowing where to put your efforts, where to put your energy, and knowing the things that move the needle. Because not a lot of things are useful in the sense that they're going to get you towards your goal. There's a very few number of things that actually make the 80% of the results. It's the 20-80 rule. Like 20% of the actions create 80% of the results. So with thumbnails, it was just all about thinking like what really creates the vibe of self-improvement. What is not just about the visuals, it's about the story that the visuals tell. And it's like a set of visuals that are amazing under a certain title. Like they might just not fit the vibe of another video. So it's all about just seeing where everything fits together. And I'd say it's not really hard work, it's just intentional work.
Yeah, no, but really, really cool to see. I mean, I personally love the new style. I mean, filmmaking stuff like cinematic. I'm just in love with cinematics and filmmaking. It's really cool to see that you also, yeah, just like it worked for you. I mean, it's always, yeah, super cool to see when you can combine storytelling with giving value and cinematography, basically, because not always like cinematics or cinematography doesn't mean you give people value, right? Because most of them it's just like photography, videography, but not like necessarily giving value in terms of self-improvement or business. But what you did is basically combine those two, and yeah, I mean it worked, as we can see right now. But yeah, let the viewers know. I mean, let's say somebody is already doing some YouTube or just started out already, yeah, in the self-improvement niche, already get some inspiration from different people. What would you say, like, as an advice you give to the people who, yeah, just are in this position and seem like they're still on this kind of, yeah, on this phase where they're on this, yeah, just like I can't really get to the 1-2-3K plus views, but they are already posting consistently. Like, I mean, it's different for everybody, of course, but what are like the key generic advice you would give to those people?
Good question. So in terms of cinematics, obviously like cinematics are going to level up your content, and content is just super Like there's so many people doing content right now. There's so many people starting channels, starting Instagram accounts. So I'm a true believer in the fact that you have to stand out in a certain way. You know, if you have such a deep voice, like a George Clooney type deep voice, and you just do talking head videos, it's probably gonna work. If you're like super attractive, you know, you're like supermodel type attractive, you can just do simple talking head videos. And for me, I really found my edge with just experimenting with how I can improve production quality. That was what made sense to me at the time. It was like, how can I, like, I know that I'm going to stick to this for 3 years, for 5 years. I know I'm in it for the long game. But how can I boost my results as fast as possible by using a camera, higher 4K footage, better color grading, better music, better effects, you know, just trying to talk better. And also the mic here is like, I did a lot of research and I'm like, okay, what is the best mic? What is the best audio interface? And just taking all of this that I learned and really like taking the production quality seriously. Because I also think that people do make first impressions. And if somebody can see that your first impression or your content is high production quality, then it also reflects with if you sell a community, if you sell a course, if you sell a product, if you're selling yourself and your channel, pretty much people will see that and then they will translate it, and in their minds they'll be like, okay, this person, like the high production quality is going to be equal to the high quality in whatever this guy is offering, his videos, and pretty much everything else.
All right. So basically, to summarize a bit, find one thing you wanna be best at in like sorts of content. Either like you can double down on your looks, on your personality, on like how you do the storytelling, on filmmaking, or just what you want or what you see you got like the most skills at, and just double down on that and stick with these kind of styled videos. And basically with that comes also like the your own style of producing basically.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just find your edge.
Mhm.
Like every one of us has our unique edge, I'd say. It's about really finding your edge and being able to double down.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, we already checked off the thumbnail stuff. I mean, what would you say? How important is this thumbnail? Because I mean, it doesn't take, as we already talked about, not that much of work, not that ton of work, but it's like the first touch the people get of your video, like thumbnail, title. What would you say? Like, what's the percentage the thumbnail and the title matters? Yeah, versus the video itself.
Everything is important, right? But I'd say for sure thumbnail and title is like one of the most important things. It's like there's not even a question there. So I'll give you two examples, right? If a video is insane, it's amazing, it's so good, and the thumbnail and the title, the packaging is kind of mid, it's a bit average, the video isn't gonna get views. It's just how it is. If the thumbnail and title are phenomenal and the video is average, the video is gonna most definitely blow up. So there's really like a balance between the two. I think like in the early stages of YouTube, what I would do is I would literally just make the video and then think after the video's done, I'd be like, okay, what is the title of this video? What is the thumbnail of this video? And that's like it's a beginner's mistake. I used to make it a lot. And then I transitioned into first having the title, really thinking it through, and then planning the video. But then still the thumbnail was the last order of business. And right now I'm transitioning into a phase where I do everything about the packaging before the actual video itself.
Yeah, I mean, you're always gonna find what's working best. I mean, for me, it was like at start, I just used to make videos, but now in the meantime, I'm also scripting them a bit and just like using Notion, getting the titles already before the video. But yeah, I feel like everybody's doing it a little bit differently because everybody just like everybody's workflow is just like a different order and stuff. But what would you say for people who just start out, like to grow until the 50K followers on YouTube? How should they structure the videos? Because I mean, structure and planning is super important. Many people, I feel like, underestimate that and just think, yeah, my video has just to get views and stuff. But if you just upload one video per month and it's like a shabby quality, then it doesn't give you pretty much anything, right? What do you say, like planning wise? I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be the planning you're currently doing because I mean you're already at the next stage, but at the stage where people just are starting out or until to grow like 20, 30K followers, what would you say for them would be the best kind of approach the pre-workflow of the videos?
I mean, when I started, I would kind of approach it like this. I would, my videos were obviously a lot different than they are now. I would still plan though, of course, 100%. And it would just be a little bit different. So I'd do the video itself and I'd do one video a week. Like I've always aimed for one video a week. I don't know like the rules, but I think that like the perfect balance between not overwhelming yourself, then you get burnt out, and not overdoing it and not underdoing it is going to be one post per week, like one long form video per week. I'd aim for, YouTube is like a long form video platform. So videos from 5 to 10 minutes. I used to make short videos like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And recently, also the time I've started to gain way more traction, that's also the time I transitioned to longer videos. So like we're talking 10 minutes plus. That was like a transition. But I'd say, yeah, one post a week, bro. One video post a week. It's the perfect amount where you can stick with it for the long term. Obviously, for anybody who's starting out, like the number one most important thing is that you just start and you do it for 5 years and you post once per week. There is no reality, there is no universe in which if you post one time per week for at least 2 years, that you will not see some type of results, that you will not see your life change in any way whatsoever.
That's fire. Definitely people out here, you gotta implement this 100%. I mean, yeah, YouTube is getting more and more important. I mean, YouTube is such a long access platform, and I feel like now, like especially over the past 2-3 years, and also in the business space, it's like YouTube is getting so much more important than like Instagram and TikTok, because like just the quality traffic and the people who are watching YouTube are just like much higher quality. And yeah, just they stick for longer, they get more familiar with you, your personality, they can just relate more in your content because they just consume more. And especially if you do like high quality content like you do, it's like even more. But yeah, less transition. I mean, when we are on like high quality people, I mean, those are high quality leads somewhere, right? And I saw you launch this new platform, or new, I mean, it exists now for a month or so. But yeah, explain us a little bit how a discipline always works. I mean, what do you do in there? Probably also for the viewers out here. I mean, why would you join does this program? What do they get from there? Like the value in there? And yeah, just in general. Yeah, what do the people get?
100%. So Discipline OS is pretty much our private paid community, and it's all about discipline. So it took me a while on the self-improvement journey and just, studying discipline, focus. I've had like rough patches in my life, and I'm just asking myself, I'm studying myself. I'm like looking like, why am I so distracted? Why am I so, like, why is my mental state so bad? Why am I not able to achieve my goals and to just tick off these simple checklists that I made every week, And it started from there. It started from the reading the books and just being on this path, helping others and just talking to others. And that's why I created Discipline OS. And the main purpose of Discipline OS is to get people from that state where, they're still struggling with consistency, they're still struggling with discipline, they're still struggling with mindset, and to get them to a place where they can finally be comfortable and feel the confidence that they know they're the type of person who can, do the hard work that is going to lead to the success. They can stick to their word. They can be consistent with something, and they can level themselves up and feel like how good it feels to actually feel like you're in control of your life. That's pretty much, if I were to summarize all the videos and what the message is, it's pretty much that. Like the fact that discipline is the building block. It's the foundation for everything.
Yeah, and especially like a key factor in like your program, I think, is also that the people have each other, like the community aspect. Because also funny enough, like I mean, we met in a Leverage Creators, the community of Girove, the guy who I did like the TCU, the second one with, like the last one. So yeah, that's super interesting. I mean, yeah, it's like just a community itself. It's like just to form connections to, yeah, just like probably like in your community, it's more like to help each other. I mean, probably one guy like has some skills in like discipline, and other one needs then there some help on like consistency or whatever. It's like not always directly correlated. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean if you are disciplined that you are applying consistency to your videos, right? Probably you're just like real discipline in planning and everything, but then you just need help in scripting. And therefore, yeah, just a community aspect in like every sort of community is just like yeah, you can connect, you can share value. That just I'm really off with the idea. I mean, yeah, I also plan, and it's already created. I'm gonna yeah pull out the cool project too in the future. It's like also some kind of community, but just a free one to start out, where people can just learn about self improvement and stuff. So yeah, it's
That's
really
awesome,
hype.
man.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
really hyped to do that too. But yeah, guys, definitely stay tuned for that. I mean, I'm really hyped to get this out, but it's taking definitely a bit more time than expected. But
Takes time, yeah.
hopefully, yeah. I mean, you know that. I mean, like, if you want to share, how long did it take? Like the whole discipline OS stuff, like the community, the website, and everything behind it. I mean, how long were you working? Were you working on that?
I mean, on the community itself, it was okay, but I'd say most of the work came in experimenting. So I didn't really know how I was gonna translate the message into something that could help people even further behind the scenes, like working with people, actually like real life people, because like we don't realize that the viewers, every single viewer, if you're posting on YouTube, is an actual person. You know, they have their life, they have their goals, they have their ambitions. So it really started with just the experimentation phase of I started with a something called Focus OS. It was like my first WAP course. That was like my first legit one. And then before that, I had a scrolling guide, a guide that helps people stop scrolling and break free from digital addiction. And I just transitioned from those, and that was mainly where the work was. And then when I landed on the school, and I knew I wanted to make Discipline OS as it is, it just it didn't take that much time because I already had the time built up in like learning how to make a product, learning how to organize things, and just bring people together. It took some
Yeah.
time. The courses took time as well, but not as much as like the previous trials, I'd say.
So basically, you basically did already the work that was necessary beforehand. So yeah, just learning everything, how to set everything up, and but yeah, I mean, for everybody, it's their first time. And yeah, I mean, if you are in self improvement and get a transition into digital products, I feel like it's always like a completely new skill or new skills, like even multiple ones, which you gotta learn there because it's like marketing and it's like the funneling stuff and it's website building. And if you don't outsource or don't have the money probably to outsource when you're just starting out, it's like so many more skills you're gonna learn. I mean, you can see positive, you learn more skills, but it's definitely super time consuming, which I've also realized. But
Yeah, man.
it's cool. It's cool to see what you're pulling up with. Especially like Discipline OS, probably also future projects. I mean, an inner circle or whatever will come. Definitely hyped to see what kind of programs etc. You're gonna offer in the future. Definitely gonna have a look into that. Also, yeah, for the people which are interested to join. I mean, if you're interested in self improvement content in general, or even like in the Discipline OS product, then feel free to check it out. I mean, I'm just probably gonna put the link in the description, just like your website, which is of the video. But
I appreciate it, man. That's cool.
100%, right?
I'm also
Sure.
excited to see your community as well. I'll definitely be a part of that.
Love to hear that, man. Love to hear that.
Of course.
But yeah, let's talk about how you grew up and how you transition into this whole self improvement. Because I mean, probably you didn't grow up like at 4 or 5 years old where you just thought, yeah, I'm gonna create in the future, like in 10 years, some self improvement.
No, I had no idea, man.
Probably that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Like I mean, we all had our first touch with that, like probably like a bit of earlier on. But I mean, how was it for you? How did you grow up? Like, what was your thought process when starting self improvement? What did like probably which people did inspire you in the past? And yeah, just let us know a little bit about yourself and about how you got to this person and YouTuber, content creator, which you are now.
All right, so I was pretty much born and raised in Dubai. So a lot of people might hear that and they might think like certain things, but it really is just like being born and raised anywhere else. And the one thing I really appreciated about that was the fact that it was so international. Like everybody is from somewhere else. That was a huge advantage, being able to grow up and like spend a lot of time with people from everywhere in the world. I'm grateful for that. It just gives you so much insight, so much perspective, and it's pretty much awesome, yeah. And I transitioned from that place. I just grew up, normal childhood, and school as well, high school, and it was really like 16, I'd say, was when I started to dive into self improvement. I started to research these things because I had a lot of like personal problems as well. I didn't like my physique. I wanted to change my physique. A lot of people can relate to that as well. My skin was like not really clear, which affected my confidence. And it was like a couple of those things, even my self confidence. And that was the starting point of just wanting to just like go on this path of self improvement and, you know, step by step, reading the books. And one thing led to another. I didn't know where it would take me. I followed the trail. And I honestly, like, before 2023, I had no idea that I was going to do anything with regards to content. In fact, I was even like, my first videos, you can even check them on the channel. I was like, for anybody who's nervous to start, I know that's a huge thing. Like, you can hear the nervousness in my voice in those first videos. And like, it was real, but you know, you do one, you do two, you just put the reps in, and eventually it becomes more comfortable. You're more attuned to doing something. And like, there's also a quote that I really like. Like, how can you be nervous if you've done the same thing 100 times in a row?
Yeah, totally. I mean, before this podcast, on my preparation, which I did, I watched a video of yours back in the days where you like recorded, I think it was about a 30-minute video, and just you told literally the camera, hey guys, I just recorded this 30-minute video, which I'm gonna record right now, and it just deleted the footage, but you actually kept that, right?
Oh yeah.
You remember which one?
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
that's
so
cool that you picked up on that.
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, I'm doing my research, but it was so funny to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I just smiled on my face because it was just like, yeah. I mean, everybody starts like at rock bottom somewhere, even like in content creation, and like, yeah. I mean, that just happens. I mean, even like Dan right here, he wasn't like just from start with like big camera, big mic, and everything. I mean, he was recording on like a DJI or Rode or just this small mini microphone. It's just like didn't even turn on the mic. That's just happening, guys. It's like, yeah, that's
everyone starts somewhere, bro.
Yeah, but at night it's really lovely that you like kept this up on your channel so people can watch it. I mean, even for you guys, like, I mean, you can just see when you go to the oldest videos of Dan how he started out. I mean, as you just mentioned, Dan, your nervousness. Yeah, it's just like it's so funny with the recording and everything. And also like camera quality was just like your phone, right?
I started off with my phone. I didn't even have a mic, so the first content I did was just shorts, like YouTube shorts, which I posted to TikTok, Instagram. There was no niche. I had no idea what I was gonna say. There was no script. It was just like, I'm gonna talk about what is on my mind, and in that time, it so happened to be things like mindset, things like self-improvement. And from there, it's just like, eventually I wanted to take it more seriously. So I got a camera, the Sony ZV-10. And then I got like the lavalier mic. And like with time, I started to chip in a little bit more to make these quality upgrades. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it's really cool to see, because many people just take their videos down because it's like a bit embarrassing or so. But yeah, I mean, I have huge respect for the people who kept them. I mean, me, my streaming days, I mean, I deleted everything. I mean, the channels are up there for people who probably find it, yeah.
Damn.
But it's like, it was a username and all videos private and stuff. I mean, I've actually deleted some videos, actually, like those from like back in the days, but most of them were just private in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, for like, especially in this topic, for the people who, yeah, just still have them up, I mean, huge respect, props to them, because yeah, because like, it's just like, it's so cool to see how people started out. It's like inspiring, even though it's like probably embarrassing. But I feel like it's always much more embarrassing for the creator when he's looking like at his old videos instead of people just like watching it. Because I think like most of the people, like even when I watch yours, I mean, I felt no embarrassment for you, like even not like yeah, for you as creator. It's like just inspiring and cool to see how
it's more inspiring out.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is just it's maybe embarrassing when you have nothing to show for, but like people like Iman Gaji, he has his older videos, like the ones from 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
He still hasn't deleted them. I think that's awesome. It's nice to keep like a track and a record of how far you've come. You know, someday you're gonna look back, you're gonna be like damn, that change, that was some pretty big change, and it's nice to see, you know.
Yeah. But what would you say, which were like the 2-3 creators which just help you the most on your journey, right? Just like, especially like creating videos, self-improvement. What were the people that like inspired you, like on a personal level, on just to do this content, to do this kind of self-improvement topic? Because I mean, you don't just decide, oh, I used to watch a self-improvement video, let's just create content. I mean, there has to be like some kind
deeper
of
than that.
Yeah, let us know.
for sure. So I had kind of two phases, I'd say. It was number one was the self-improvement phase. I was just focused on like what I was saying in the actual videos. That was the beginning phase, and that's where like I'd say I got inspired by many of the self-improvement creators, you know, Ali Abdal, Matt Davella, and also people like Hamza who had a bit more of a controversial take. So I kind of like thought to myself, it would be cool to not just go like full of the mode where you're just like sharing everything and you're super unlikable, and also a bit away from the one where you're too likable. So like right in the middle, there's a sweet spot I think where like you share your opinion, obviously you speak, but you're not like against everyone. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. I mean, there are a few people who like use controversy to just like
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
get their persona up there. I mean, it's also a way. It depends on what. I mean, usually you just because you don't agree with everything, they get views and you like to watch them because your brain just thinks, yeah, what does this guy say? I'm not really the same opinion, but though like there's some things he says which are actually good, like probably like for Andrew Tate, TJR,
Yeah.
like there's so many people. I mean, I can count like 10, 20 more, right? But I mean, yeah, huge respect for them to just like leveraging it. I mean, if you can like just do this on like a moralic and ethical level, I think then I mean, I guess do it. It always depends on like what they say, but especially like TJR, it's so funny to see. Like I mean, he's not being serious in like any of his videos, right? But it's like getting him just like views and views and views, and yeah, I mean,
Oh
people
yeah.
like to watch it, like especially this like humorous videos on the shorts. It's yeah, but when you like see a podcast where like he was with Jack Nealon, for example, it's like completely normal guy like you and I, right? It's like
Yeah,
just
exactly.
they use controversy
To blow up.
and people thoughts to blow up, exactly. But I mean, what's your take on it? I mean, you've been in the game for a long time. I mean, you didn't decide to do it. What's the reason why? And if yes, why?
Honestly, I could have used a bit more controversy, a bit more like of this edginess to attract a wider audience, and that definitely does work. But like for me as well, I'd say like pretty much everybody I know in real life, they know that I make videos. You know, they watch. Some of them watch my videos. So I already had like a pre-existing audience in a way, of like friends and family. So maybe it's just a cope, but it's also like I didn't really want to go that controversy route because also like I have a certain image to in a way to uphold. Like not it's not really very deep. It's just like I don't want to say things that are like way out of you know, like out of context or like too I don't know the word for it, like too extreme. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think
I
there's a
mean,
nice like you could definitely talk about self-improvement. You could like create a community and you know really like reach a lot of people by sharing your message and then also adding like your take on it, and that's what I like to do.
yeah. What I always ask myself is like for these people who do take the controversy approach, if the like the business part of the content creation is still like as marketable as like for the other people. Of course, like if you're somebody like Andrew Tate is probably like yeah one of the one of the people
Exceptions.
who still yeah exceptions who
Yeah.
still manage to like yeah just pull it off either way. But I mean that's also mostly because of like his persona, right? I'd say. But yeah, like for people who, like TJR, right? And like, can they really like if you compare like a channel where he like has the same followers and views with people who yeah who like his controversy and the same who not, like would he still like get those many yeah people who buy from the products? I'm just not sure. I mean in the end it gets some views and it gets some visibility, of course, but yeah, I mean I wouldn't take this approach personally. I mean of course I also have or had yeah opinions in the past which
Yeah.
of course do speak controversy, but I'm not like super extreme. I'd say I'm more chill and more yeah defensive, not like super attackive. But I mean yeah, everybody does in their own way, and it's just yeah, interesting to see the approach they use. But what would you say? I mean, yeah, you've been in content game for a fairly long time. You've created a ton of content. Would you say when you have like now 46K followers with a controversy approach, would you able to sell same or less or probably even like more people onto products in self improvement in your case?
I think it really depends on the type of content you're making. Like one thing we also have to understand is that every single viewer is a person at the end of the day. So that comes with a conversion rate. So if TJR, for example, is able to pull in, let's say, millions of views using controversy, it's always going to be better than him just going the pure educational route and getting hundreds of thousands of views. Because obviously then the volume negates luck. Because there always is a conversion rate. Somebody who comes and watches you because you make funny videos could eventually just happen to stumble upon your funnel and then like find out what you have to offer and buy it and join. But it is marginally lower. I'd say there's always a mix for sure. Like personally, I never saw like pure entertainment content to really fit my vision of the channel and what I wanted to do. But you definitely can use controversy and like funny videos and all this stuff to like blow up. You just have to really see how it fits in your niche. If you can like the best thing possible is if you can take your same message and take humor, take a bit of controversy and fit it all in the same niche. If you can do that, that's that's something I've also been thinking about recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean also like personally, my opinion on that is, you gotta be just as a person, even like in private life, a bit like a controversial person, I'd say, because if you're just like doing this for views and just like you aren't even like, when people meet you in private, like you aren't a big controversy, right? That's like I feel like not really authentic anymore, and then the conversion rate is much lower. I mean, I guess somebody like Andrew will probably even like be, if you meet him privately, a bit somewhat controversial, or even like most of his opinions. I think he's not really putting a fake persona out there. I mean, I think he's pretty authentic actually, and one of the most authentic persons out there, even though his opinions are fairly controversial sometimes. But yeah, like for people like TJR, I'd say like privately, of course, he's also a bit controversial, which he uses, of course, for his videos. But like I'd say the difference there is much bigger than, as I mentioned, for people like Andrew.
Oh yeah. It really depends. I think what you said really well is like authenticity, right? If you're by nature a controversial person, then by all means make controversial content. If you're like a very serious person, then make serious content. Because if you try to make funny content and you try to be somebody you're not, that also kind of, it doesn't really work that well. So just see, like,
Yeah.
understand who am I, like do a bit of self-analysis. That's what I did. Like understanding who am I, what type of person am I, like what is my background, and from that point being like, how can I be my most authentic self, and what is my most authentic self?
Yeah, I see that. I see that. What's really interesting is you turned your passion for self improvement into a business over the past now 2 years in total, but like as we talked about, it like blew up like a few months ago. Um, was it intentional that you decided to monetize, to go, yeah, like your channel is already from YouTube monetized, of course, but was like the business aspect fully like, yeah, I'm gonna do this as a business, or was it just like more like growing into it, and then you suddenly realize, hey, I can do this for a living, this is what I want to do, let's do it? Or like, how was that for you?
So it was definitely a bit of both, but I'd say it's more of the intentional side. So I actually dropped out of uni not that long ago, and it was a very controversial thing to do for my parents, for my family. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. But it really just came down to, I love what I'm doing. Like, I love making these videos. I love recording, filming, and every part of the process. I love it. So every second of every day where I wasn't able to truly spend all my time doing this was a day where I was just kind of miserable in a way. So that's when I really took the big step, dropped out of college so I can do this full time. And of course, if you want to do something full time, it needs to be a source of income. It needs to be a business, because everything, no matter how much of a passion something is, if it doesn't bring in income, which is going to help you like actually achieve your dream life and just allow yourself to do this full time, then it's going to be really hard to like sustain yourself.
How were the first 5 6 months after you dropped out? Because I mean, I'm a dropout too. I mean, as you guys out there know, I dropped out of apprenticeship at fairly young age, 16 years old. And yeah, for me, the first half year to a year was definitely like I had to like really learn all the discipline stuff. I mean, I dropped out at the time I dropped out. I didn't earn a penny. I was like, just this isn't the way. I want to go a different one. Let's see where it leads. I mean, I didn't even have the idea where I'm gonna go, but yeah, that's a bit out of topic now. But yeah, I mean, how was it for you? Like, was it like when you dropped out? Like, I already know where I want to go, or was it also like more a season of struggle for the first?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%, bro. I mean, definitely season of struggle. So I was making something. Like I had seen some growth. I remember at the time I dropped out, I had around 5,000 subscribers. So it's definitely not the amount of subs where like your parents would be like, okay, do this full time.
Yeah.
But it was just belief, it was just like I knew I wanted to do this full time. Even though at the time there was no real business, it was just like ad revenue from like one video. And even then, I decided to make the big step. And the thing is, the funny thing is, even a couple months after that, when I was trying my absolute hardest, when I was like pushing myself, I had some pretty low months. Like my income didn't really like change that much for like a while, and there was a bit of a spike, and then it kind of dipped a little bit, which was kind of depressing, because you know people want to see that you're a type of success, and I feel like also as a college dropout, it's more like you have more to prove. So as a default level, you're not really successful, but anybody else who already goes to college and they are successful in the eyes of society, so you need to compensate in a much more profound way. That's for sure.
Interesting point you just said. I mean, you gotta prove to yourself and to others something. I mean, I had this feeling totally too, especially at the start. It was like now the people are up here and I'm down here basically, because like at
That's
the
how it is,
time,
man.
like for me it was at the time like, oh, just people are doing like an apprenticeship, and like at the time when I dropped out, like few days and weeks after, I thought like, yeah, I mean, I'm not earning anything right now, and like you guys are probably having like a degree and stuff. Like, of course, it was like right now it's a limiting belief, of course, but I mean, those whole like limiting beliefs, psychology, business stuff is like much later in my journey, which I came. So yeah, that was super interesting to see, because I feel like for most people when they drop out and not really are earning anything, and not a stage where they have the knowledge and everything to be, yeah, it's just like definitely above average. They're like not like average or something. They're like they feel like they're like at rock bottom, and I felt like that too. Probably like you too.
Oh
You
yeah,
just have
for
to learn
sure.
anything. Like
It's a
for me, it
dark
was
place,
like,
man.
yeah, for me like it was like a whole new world. Like honestly, like it was like, what the fuck is this business? YouTube, Instagram monetization. Like I was super new to everything, right? So I mean, of course, I did like streaming, gaming, and everything, and like I used Instagram, but it was like this the whole business bubble, and what you got to understand is fairly underestimated, and it's but super funny to see like even like self improvement for me. I mean, I'm not in the self improvement niche itself with creating videos, but it's still like a self improvement I did on my journey, personal level. Of course, I had to learn discipline and everything. It's fairly correlated, I'd say. But what
For
would you
sure, yeah.
say? What would you say like? How was this new world for you? Was it a big difference, like day to day, when you dropped out? And I mean, I think you, or did you had your like co-founder, which you're doing this whole YouTube with, or basically just like partner? Did you had him already there? Was it first a phase where you just pursued this goal basically alone?
So for the very start, I was doing everything by myself, and then my co-founder slash best friend, he joined like pretty early in the journey, I'd say. And from there, we just started. It wasn't anything serious. We both had our lives. Like I was still in uni, he was still working a job and stuff. And from there, it was like one thing led to another, and just like working on it, taking it more and more seriously, and then making the big steps and being like, the only way this is really gonna work properly is if we both do this full time. That was the thought process. Because if you think about it, the competition and everything is super, it's super high. So if you want to stand out, if you want to like just cut the competition, you need to take things seriously. You need to do things full time. You need to make things or make whatever you want to achieve. You need to make it your life, you know? That was the thought process.
Yeah, super interesting. I mean, now we got an interesting topic right here. I've always thought about like I dropped out without having a side hustle. I mean, I was doing things before, but not making any real money. Like, of course, like 1 2K, but nothing significant. Basically had no experience. I mean, a bit, but not really. And I always thought about like people are sometimes like a few people out there did like a side hustle, and while they did this kind of business, still were working in like university or at a job or whatever. And I've always thought about like, I mean, my journey was hard as fuck. I can tell that like honestly, it was like a ton of struggle, and it still is. It's getting better, but it still is. Um, but like when I'm imagining people who work like 3 4 hours at max per day, maybe not even, when they still have like a job working 70 80 90 even like 100% sometimes. I mean, how hard it is for them to achieve something. Of course, it also has a bit of a luck part business. That's always yeah, a fact which people underestimate. But I mean, mainly it's still like you gotta have the skills, you gotta use them, and you gotta provide value in the market, right? And I'm just thinking like these people, they have like even like of course they're earning money. They've probably less the financial stress than we did have back in the past. But yeah, let me know
It's
how
more of a
you see
time
this.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, definitely is difficult, you know? Like, doing this full time on its own, it has its challenges, it has its, like, its things and the obstacles and the things you have to do on a day to day basis just to keep up to date. And, like, doing that alongside a full 9 to 5, alongside a full university degree, it's possible. I'll tell you, it's possible. But it's just, I feel like you can't really win at either one of those. It's gonna be like splitting your attention, where if you just chose one or the other and you put full focus, I think you'd get a lot further.
yeah, yeah. That's also one thing I learned, is to always focus on one thing, double down, and after that, you can like diversify. I mean, I'm a big fan and advocate of like diversifying in like finances, in businesses, in multiple projects or whatever, but never do two things, especially in the starting phase at the same time. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I had a time where I had two businesses, which I've launched both as a co-founder, and I thought like I'm the man. I have like two businesses right
running
now,
two businesses at the same time.
and in the end, both failed pretty much.
Yeah,
It was just like it was just so stupid. And but
it's
no,
way
it
too
wasn't
much to
stupid.
handle.
It wasn't stupid at all. It was like a crazy experience which I've learned for life. To yeah, never do two things which require full focus at one time. That's
100%.
so dumb. That's so dumb. Because like if you would just do one thing, and when you can like over time outsource some things, right, and stuff, and then start the other, you get much more further, instead of yeah, even like risking the chance that both fail, which happened
Oh yeah.
for me. But that was super funny to see. Like I mean, now it's funny. Of course, at the time it wasn't at all. But now it's.
I mean, you
I can
definitely
laugh
learn
about
so
it.
much from it.
Yeah.
Like, it was definitely like a huge life experience thing. Like, you wouldn't have otherwise really known the value of that lesson before it actually happened. So
Mm. No, that's it. But actually, completely different question, which just jumped into my brain, which I want to ask you is, I always saw in your videos you using like playing cards that are there,
oh
like
yeah,
flipping them and stuff.
I have them over
Well,
here. Yeah.
Why? Is there like a reason or a deeper meaning behind that? Because I mean, you're definitely also using them and there at start, just like also in the meetings we had already in the group and stuff, having them like spinning and stuff. It's always super cool. That was like a one thing I'm always like, since I know you, just
Oh
always
yeah,
remember this is the playing
that's
card guy,
funny.
right? Basically, what like is there a deeper meaning behind that?
I mean, it's just like me and my best friend, who's also like working on the business with me. We watched F1, the movie,
Mm,
September. So like as soon as we started, September 5th it was, I think.
mm.
And the guy, Sonny Hayes, the main character, he basically, before every race, he pulls out a card and he puts it in his pocket. He doesn't look at it, and he only looks at the card after the thing. So that was kind of like a cool thing, and we then both got like playing cards like this, like the same ones. So Like we thought, why not? I also used to play with playing cards like a while back when I was 14, like learn magic tricks and stuff. So no really deep reason. It's just it's a cool thing sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, for you grew up in Dubai. You were mentioning, how
Yeah,
was
I
it
did.
to grow up there? I mean, like Dubai is especially like a place where since like 2018, I'd say 2020, even like
Oh yeah,
after
it's
COVID,
pretty much
it
booming.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's booming. Like influencers, real estate, cars, and everything. How was it before that? I mean, Dubai like was a city that like I think got built like in the 80s, 90s, or started to like really getting their like economy up to place there. I mean, how was it before the whole world got to know it? I'd
Oh
say.
yeah.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, not many people out there grew up in Dubai, which I personally know. They just live there. But yeah, how was it before that? I'm really wondering.
Honestly, it's an awesome place, you know. Obviously, besides like the bit of like the hot weather in summer, like there's really everything that I really enjoyed. So like friends, the environment, the social things, schools, like also bullying and stuff. That's a really big topic, especially like in many countries. But in Dubai, I'd say it's a very nice environment to be honest. It's a very
Mm.
like very mutual environment, and I'm grateful to be honest to grow up there because like everything from the school to friends to the life to the safety as well. Like the safety is just it's incredible. Like no other place in the world. It's yeah, I mean it's I'd say this. So it's like any other city that you can live in. So a lot of like if you're looking at another city, you can't really see it and imagine like what is it like to live here or here. But it's just like another city, you know. It's yeah, like a normal life pretty much. Like nothing out of the ordinary. It's definitely a
Yeah,
bit different, but yeah.
I feel like many people underestimate what Dubai yeah like really is when you're living there or basically grew up there or just like being a citizen of the UAE, because like I feel like Dubai is a bit like glazed or just like having a bit of a different image from people who, from social media, right? Dubai luxury, blah blah. But I mean, in the core, Dubai is still like just a normal city. UAE just a normal country. I mean,
It's a
before the
place, you
whole
know. Like
yeah, yeah, there are like locals and stuff. You can swim, you can do like also normal stuff. Because I always like feel Dubai now is not like that grounded. Or for the people there, even like for the people who grew up there, not that just enjoyable anymore than it was, because it feel like it got such a different image from just the online world. I mean, it's not necessarily bad. I mean, it is better than probably before, but it's just like
oh yeah.
probably not what it really was, like at its core back in the days.
Oh yeah, for sure. It has changed really like really immensely over the past, like you said, 2018. It's grown so much, so many more like buildings, infrastructure, a lot more people, a bit more traffic. But yeah, I mean, like I still enjoy it. I always enjoy it like when I'm there. So it's just it's always like it's like home for me pretty much. So that's the best way to describe it.
What are the top three places in Dubai where right now people, especially like younger entrepreneurs, can go to, which is probably not that well known, which is more like some kind of spot only local people know, which is fairly good, which is like not that well known. What would you say? What are like some cool places, not mattering if it's like nature or just like cool buildings or cool things to visit? What would you say people can do
I
there?
mean, there's a lot of stuff to be honest. I mean, what I really like and enjoy and always have enjoyed is beach. And like you could go to different kind of hotels that have like a beach there. They have gym, they have amenities, and it's just a nice place to let off some steam, just relax, get some sun. Because like you have sun, unlike in Europe where a lot of the times you don't have sun. The sun is out pretty much all the time to buy. So I mean,
Yeah,
in terms of like touristy things, I was never a tourist there. So like I'm not really educated on that matter. But there's like a lot of things you can do, especially as like if you're an entrepreneur or you're just a normal guy or like if you're studying or whatever.
yeah, that's that's funny because yeah, when I was in Dubai, it was like such a cool experience. We were in the desert, was actually my first time in the desert with I think what do you guys have over there? What was it like camels or the other dromedaries? What do you have over there? Not sure anymore.
Camels. Like in the
Camels.
desert, you'll see camels. You'll see
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much yeah.
Yeah, camels and just like kind of how's it called, like buggy, the buggies where you can race over the desert. It was pretty funny.
Oh yeah,
So
the
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, definitely like my personal advice for people who go there. That was a great experience. Also, yeah, interesting. Like the Arabian culture, or like the yeah, just like the culture from there was super interesting for me to see. Because it's completely different from the Western world. I feel like it's like there's
Oh, it is.
so
Yeah.
I felt so much more in like ancient, just in my ancient kind of world there. Because it's like much more, yeah, like still in like the kind of old part of the city where it's like the old buildings, like this kind of cement and like yeah, how's it called, like the
Um.
beige no is it concrete? Not sure, but it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah. Mostly,
special
it's. I'd say it's concrete. Yeah.
concrete. Yeah, it's concrete
Probably.
buildings, right? Yeah, it's like we were in some buildings there, and it was just like yeah, you felt like you were in this kind of yeah, still like in whatever the 70 1800s or like even earlier, and that was so cool to see because yeah, many people think like Dubai is completely just like new modern, but if you know where to go, you still have
Oh yeah.
some
100%.
definitely history in
There's
there,
some
and
gems
that's
there. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And that was super cool to see for me because before I went to Dubai, I was like, yeah, Dubai, completely modern. I like my brain wasn't at all like prepared for something like this, and I was like, all right, they still have like, yeah, super interesting things there. Also, besides, of course, I mean, Dubai is a very cool city to visit, but yeah, it's especially the sound is super cool. Energy level just always high,
Oh
never
yeah,
low.
for sure.
To connect with people, like especially like the entrepreneur circles are just like growing massively over
Oh yeah,
there.
to network, bro. It's really really cool. Like
Yeah.
it's well known now. I think a couple of years ago it wasn't really the same in terms of like now it's known by pretty much everybody in the world. Like everybody
Hmm.
knows like Dubai. So in terms of networking, there's definitely opportunities there. And yeah, how many times
Yeah.
did you visit?
One time for
One
a
time.
week. Yeah, for a week.
How was it? It was
But
nice, yeah.
it was great. I mean, we did like fully plan every day through, so I didn't have time at all to like calm down or just let
Just
some
like
steam out,
constantly
as
on
you
the
would say.
gas. Yeah.
Not at all. It was just like full on the pedal. But I loved it. It was great. For me, Dubai wouldn't be a place to live permanently. Just because I feel like as a European kid, I feel like it's just like you miss the nature too much as you just know it differently. And it's just like in my roots a bit. So yeah, what I'm thinking about like moving in the future would probably like be Canada, Montreal or something where you have
Oh
like
yeah.
a big ass city and then like but trees and seas and just like beautiful nature. Because in Switzerland you just don't have a big city. That's just like every city here is so fucking small. You have like probably the biggest one would be I'm gonna don't even know. Probably like it's Zurich, Lucerne, Zurich, something like that, and it's like fucking small. You can drive like
Oh
with a
yeah.
car. You have like 10 15 minutes through the whole city. So
I've been to Geneva on a
Geneva, yeah,
school trip
yeah,
a
Geneva
while
is
ago.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Geneva is cool. The thing is like Geneva is much more international than the rest of Switzerland because of like the whole. It's like I'd say the political capital of
It's
Switzerland,
different.
if we can call it like that. Yeah, it's like much more global and like a bit of the New York of America. Just like many cultures there. I'd say also that business wise, Geneva is funnily much more yeah, much more developed than Zurich and other cities of Switzerland. I mean, Zurich is just like the startup and tech capital, I'd say, business wise. But like people like you and I, like self-made guys, those people are not a ton in Zurich. So yeah, Geneva is yeah, it's a fairly interesting place. But it's sunnier and warmer than here, like middle to eastern of Switzerland. So that's cool. But yeah, what I want to say, I mean, Dubai, the energy level there was like huge difference
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
comparison to Europe. I mean, right now you're in France, right?
Yeah, I'm in
So
France.
you will also notice that at home probably, just like how
The
how the
change, yeah.
difference is. Yeah, I
Oh yeah,
mean,
the
per,
change is like here it's pretty secluded, so there's
yeah,
a lot more nature, you know. But
yeah. So personally, my energy levels are just like on a completely different level when I was in Dubai, and also like even like in the
higher, better.
US, higher, much better. Yeah,
Oh
of
yeah,
course.
yeah. I
Yeah,
think
because
it's the
you,
sun, maybe. I think I'd say
yeah, the vitamin D is just
it's
like
everything.
you
Yeah,
notice it directly. It's huge difference. I feel like people who just like never are in like Europe or like Germany, Netherlands, even like the UK, Switzerland, those are all pretty similar, I'd say. Um, they will never know how it is to have low energy. Probably like
oh yeah,
Miami,
it's
LA.
completely
Those are
different.
just cities where it's like pretty much always sunny. Alright, Miami is also
Yeah,
like it's rainy days, but I feel like the sun is much stronger, and it influences lives more than people think. But I mean, yeah, you just gotta live with it, compensate, and just yeah, try to get as much sun when the sun is out, which doesn't happen a lot here.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I
Like you
mean,
said, it's
yeah,
like I feel like also Dubai, it's more of a place like you're only gonna want to live there if you've been there for a while, or if you're born and raised there, because that's
mm,
when you can call it kind of home compared to like any other place. But yeah, in terms of also energy levels, Dubai, the sun, the beach, it's nice, you know. Europe is also
yeah,
nice. I'd say like I like each season of each place, and I like to complement those so that like spending half the year in Dubai, half the year in Europe. I think that's a cool mix.
yeah. That's fire.
Yeah.
That's actually some heat because yeah, I feel like the whole year in one country, like Dubai, I feel like Dubai gets boring if you live there the whole time. I'm not sure
Of
why,
course, kind
but
of like
I mean Switzerland is also boring. Don't get me wrong. I feel like there are just like much more interesting parts of the world where you can live for the whole year. Um, I feel like fast paced cities like New York, or I think you never get boring there. It's just like more like overwhelming instead of boring
it's a bit
because
of
there's
the
so
other end,
much
yeah.
going on. It's like the other hand, but I'm still
Yeah.
honestly I'm still finding my mix in the place I want to live and want to settle in the future. I still haven't defined it yet at all because yeah, I feel like every place is like yeah positive and negative sides, advantages and disadvantages, people which I like, people which I don't like. But what especially like is in Switzerland, I'm telling this to everybody I'm on the podcast on, the people here are boring as fuck. Like they're just like working their
It's
job,
a different vibe,
going
yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like I mean of course they're rich people, but they're like more like caving in the mountains in those rich
They have their
villas and
own
like
life. Yeah.
they have completely their own life. They're like I feel like US rich people from the US, though they are like in cars, in the SVJ, in the McLarens, ripping through the streets. Even like older guys, not even
Oh
like
yeah,
the
you
young
see
people,
them.
but like
Yeah.
40, 50. Yeah, you just see them all over there. We just want to flex. You just want to meet people up. I love this culture somewhere. I mean, the US has its big disadvantages, of course, too. But I mean, it's just like this is
I
the
mean,
culture I love.
yeah, you're right. I think also every place just has its drawbacks, you know.
Mm,
It's every place has positives and negatives. You just have to see which of the positives best align with what you like, and which of the negatives don't really bother you that much. That's
yeah. No, that's totally true. That's totally true. But yeah, as I was mentioning, I mean, I haven't found my home yet. I'd say like my home country, my home city. But
you
how's
have
it for you?
time.
Yeah. I mean, you've traveled a lot more than I did. Definitely. I mean, you've more life experience. So let me know how that was for you. I mean, did you already find that place that you want to settle in the future, or would you say you're still a bit on the search but have some like ideas already?
I mean, I'm definitely open to suggestions. I'd say like nothing is just like fixed, but I do have in mind the places where I'd be comfortable staying. So like a summer spot for us was Colorado in the U.S. and I went there quite a bit, and I honestly really like it there, to be honest. So that's also a place I would definitely be open to, some place in the US, because I do know people there, like family and stuff. And then there's Dubai and Europe. That's like in my mind that's kind of the cycle of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, but that's a lovely split to be honest. I mean, yeah, just like the warmth and then like the people, a bit of compensation from both. I'd say that's really cool. I mean, for me, honestly, my plan in regards of that is like just travel, 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 travel.
Just
Like just
find out.
travel through.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like stay. there a week, there a week, there a week, like US, Europe, like all cities of Europe, all cities of the US, basically. Like, of course, not every single, but just like go to a ton of places and just see, yeah, what the world has to offer. I mean, even like in Asia, and Oceania. I mean, Australia is also pretty interesting. I mean, when I was talking with Girove on the last podcast, he was mentioning that, especially I think it was like the Gold Coast and Sydney, is super cool, and he really loved it there. Then like I got people who were in Japan and like Indonesia, and they really loved it there. So yeah, I'm super interesting what the world has to offer. I mean, it's always I love traveling. Older than I am. It's just like even not for just like the the traveling part itself, but for content. I mean, you can do so much more filmmaking, and you're so much
Oh,
more
for sure.
motivated to do filmmaking when you're traveling. It's a crazy difference, especially for me when it was like even like in Barcelona like a month ago and a half. I was like filming the whole day, and I was still enjoying it a ton. I mean, I'd say I was like still 100% enjoying it, and still was like just filming 3 hours per day, like just filming, taking the cam with me and stuff. It was
That's
crazy.
nice. I like that.
That's,
Like I really appreciate cinematography, and it's been a big passion of mine since the channel as well.
mm,
So yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, traveling, it gives you the ability to get footage, to get really nice shots from all over the place, and also like you're just gonna go to all these places, and with time you're gonna find out like what is the place that you definitely like. I'm not gonna live here, and where. So then you like cancel everything out, and then you're left with like a couple places, and you just try. You live there for like 6 months, a year maybe, and then you see what you like the most.
yeah, especially what I've seen from people who are in our group and stuff, and also other people
Oh
I
yeah,
know. They just travel and stay at a place which you like just longer. They just like don't book all the tickets. They just like go somewhere, and they just stay as long as they want there, and then just travel when they have enough of the place. I really like that idea too, because then you can just see which places are like probably yeah on your mind for long term, and which places are just like cool to visit, but maybe just for the short term.
oh yeah, that's true. Just gotta
But
find
yeah,
out. It's just like life experience. I feel.
yeah, yeah, it is. But let's talk about cars. I always love this topic to talk
Oh
with
yeah,
Chris about.
cars. My favorite
Yeah, man.
topic.
Yeah, I'm a huge car enthusiast. I mean, it started when I was about 7 at the Geneva Auto Salon, where I sat in my first Koenigsegg ever.
Oh yeah,
Was I think the CCX at the time, or in Ajira, I'm not sure anymore.
that's
But
crazy.
I unfortunately couldn't find the picture. I'm still searching for it though with
Oh,
my
you couldn't
parents.
find the picture.
No, 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 because that was like over 10 years ago. But I'm still searching, and I'm still asking them time to time to search for more, because I would love to have that. And then yeah, of
That'd be
course,
a fire
stuck with
picture. Yeah.
yeah with cars and stuff, like the movie Cars, the McQueen and everything. And then yeah, from there it just like stayed with me. Then like all the games, Forza, Formula One, then
Yeah.
watching Formula One, then like series and everything, like from A to C basically. So yeah, let me know. I mean, how is it for you? I mean, what like how much do cars matter to you? It's always interesting to talk with people about, because like I personally I try to find a mix, because not because but in the materialistic topic, of
Mm.
like a split between having a ton of materialistic things and a ton
And
of
being like
like
a bit more
just
reserved and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and just like personal things, like good friendships, a lovely wife with kids and stuff. Like just, I try to find a balance between both, because I am fairly materialistic. I'd say like I find joy in houses, in cars, and in tech
I
and
think
everything.
that's I think
So
that's so normal, bro. I think
yeah,
that's like yeah. Yeah, I mean for me pretty much the same, I'd say. Like I'd like to see myself as not so much of a materialistic person. I don't think there's wrong with being materialistic, but obviously there's boundaries, there's limits. But yeah, like I value just day-to-day life and like legacy, impact, fulfillment, calm, peace, and those more deeper things. I value them. They're like the first priority, I'd say. And then later, like by all means, I'll get the dream car. I'll experiment a little bit. I'll get my toys and have fun with them. So
how do you think you will manage to do the split with materialistic stuff and your personal life, because yeah, just like, I mean, you're fairly, yeah, far, I'd say, in personal development wise, so maybe you can give some advice to, yeah, me and the people out there. What would you say, like, from your perspective? I mean, of course, you haven't settled yet, but probably like within the next 10, 15, 20 years, that's also like a point where this will happen. Um, but yeah, let us know. What would you say? How should, like, in your opinion, people balance their lives needs with materialistic stuff if they have achieved something in life, like achieved something in the financial aspect, of course? What would you say? What is a perfect approach for you, and what would you advise people how to find it for them?
Good question. I mean, obviously, I cannot speak for everybody. I can just speak for myself. I'd say like I'm more of the type of guy who, like, I don't need a car to make me happy. I don't need a certain, like, at some point I thought I did, but then I realized like I value more the experience, the like the life, the fulfillment, like just simply the fact of being able to record videos, be on a podcast like this, do certain things like this without having to sacrifice anything else. And just this is like the dream life, pretty much. I mean, I like to see my current reality. So the way I'm living in my mind, it's actually like the dream life. The only thing that's gonna change as everything scales, as the reach grows, as everything gets taken to the next level, is just like numbers on a screen, just like extra things. You know, at some point, the car will come, the stuff will come, but I feel like it's easy to get caught up in a way, and this is a bit spiritual, but it's easy to just keep seeing that the grass is greener on the other side and forget what you have, and like lose a little bit of value and gratitude for your own life, for what you have now, for the life you're living. So I've transitioned into more of a spiritual uh, endeavor where I choose to be more grateful for what I have, and you know I see the life I'm living now as the dream life, and then everything that comes after is just a bonus.
Crazy way to think. Never thought about that in this way. That's super interesting. Your approach in that. Yeah, that's it's actually, yeah, just fairly niche, I'd say. I think not many people are like really just admitting this is my dream life, and everything that comes is just an addition. Because I
Oh
feel like
yeah,
many people always think my dream life is still there, and I'm there. And when you're there, your dream life is there. It's like
it
always
always
not
moves.
like
Yeah.
they never achieve it. And I feel like when you take this approach to never achieve it, you will never feel fully fulfilled, because you always um have some kind of dissatisfaction because you're still like on the journey, on the grind, right? And I
You're
feel
always
like,
looking forward to something.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but like on the other hand, when you are doing it the way you do, I mean, I'm just imagining, and I'm also basically framing this as a question. Don't you feel like you have less drive and less motivation for future things, to earn more money, to earn more stuff, to build your personality even further, to still work on self improvement, when you've already basically positioned yourself as, hey, I've already achieved my dreams, and everything that comes is an addition?
I was just gonna like touch up on that because obviously, if you think about the mindset of, you know, I'm already there, I'm already full, I'm already complete, then it's like the question arises: what about your drive? Won't you have no motivation to chase even more success and more abundance in life? I mean, in my experience, it really hasn't changed the way I work. And maybe I even work longer and better and with more focus than before. So like the goals are still there, the ambitions are still there. It's just like while I'm working from a place of like this is all extra. Like this is just pure joy. You know, I'm doing this for the fun of it. That's how I like to see it. Because for a long time also, I was doing the work and I was so obsessed with the goal that it actually made me a little bit miserable. So the work was the same. I was just doing it from a place of, you know, a place of hate, a place of a bit of resentment. Like I need to be successful so that in the eyes of everybody else, I'm not just a college dropout. I'm worth something.
Mm. No, I see that. It's a really interesting approach. I mean, I think, yeah, as you mentioned like two topics before, so everybody has like their own approach, and everybody's just gonna find out what works for them. And we can't really just say, hey, what works for me works for you too. but it's just like we just give the people some kind of insights how we do it, and then they can just see what they wanna implement for their lives.
Exactly, pretty much. We all live like vastly different lives, so just seeing how you want to live, seeing what works best for you, that's yeah. There's no one size fits all. Everyone, a mindset can help a lot of people, but there's always going to be exceptions. There's always going to be things you have to change.
Mm. Yeah, now, but to slowly wrap it off, I mean, what are the upcoming projects of you? Maybe you can give some insights of future videos you wanna publish, or yeah, upcoming just projects you're gonna launch. I'm really hyped to hear some insights there if you want to share.
Yeah, it's interesting you asked. There are some things on the list. So a video that's getting out today, it's the longest video ever on the channel. It's 28 minutes and 30 seconds almost. So that was a bit of a pain to like edit. I mean, I love the process, but it just took double the time. But that's okay. And in the future, I was thinking of making like a 24-hour like self-improvement guide. It's gonna take crazy amounts of work, like months, maybe even a year of work. But I think it would like really stand out in the space. And then also like a movie. Like me personally, I love movies. Ever since stumbling on the cinematic journey, just the idea of taking something footage, making it look nice, making it look cinematic, dramatic, and everything from color grading to like the different lenses, the different lighting, the lightings you can achieve, and it's just the whole process. Just really, like I really love filmmaking. It's a passion of mine. So bringing that into self improvement would be very controversial because I don't think anybody's done that on YouTube. But making like a full movie, like not just like cinematic video, but an actual like an hour-long movie. That's definitely something I would consider like a full passion project,
Cool. No, I love that. I mean, I would definitely watch it. I mean, I love movies too. Um, so yeah, like some kind of mix between self improvement, just like journey, and yeah, with cinematography. That's super. I'm super hyped for that to see that. But yeah, let's wrap it. I mean, I'm always asking the question at the end of the podcast for everybody,
Oh yeah.
which is the guest of the TCU podcast here. What is one piece of advice you would give to the people out there? I feel like when I'm asking this question, many people just try to answer a bit of a vague answer, like yeah, just work on your mindset or so. But try to really go in depth. What helped on your journey probably, and what you would say, yeah, it's like a step which people can implement into their daily lives, which will definitely upgrade it today or tomorrow. So yeah, feel free.
100%, man. I'd say one piece of advice I'd give is you can be successful at anything, but you can't be successful at everything. It's so easy to jump from thing to thing, and progress is compounding, right? So if you just stuck to one thing in the time that everybody else is jumping between 15 different things, you'll just experience so much progress that compounds. So it's just a matter of, doing one thing, and it's hard to find what you want to do. Obviously, we all have different lives. But as soon as you find that one thing, just tell yourself, I'm going to do it for the next 10 to 15 years. I know it sounds like crazy, but I feel like a lot of the people who had dreams and didn't really see them come into fruition, it was just a matter of time. It's not like they lacked talent. It's not like they lacked the ability or intelligence. It just came down to the fact that they didn't stick it out long enough. They didn't continue and persist until they succeeded. Because most people, they quit before they do.
Love that. So for all the people, may you implement this for your journey. I'm rooting for you, all the people who listen, because I feel like our audience here is either people who are a bit I'd say at the lowest stage on our journey, or probably even on ours and even on bigger. But I feel like we are all some kind of going the same journey. So yeah, it's like always learn from people, give people value, and that's like the key component of just our game. Because I feel like if nobody of us would have gotten some advice from other people, we wouldn't be anywhere. So it's always just take and share, just what you've learned and yeah, what you learn. But yeah, Dan Zakaria, thank you so much for joining me on the episode 3 of the TCU podcast today. And yeah, for all the people out here, I'm gonna link Dan in the description down there, so you can check him out. His YouTube content super interesting and super hype for the projects, yeah, which will come. Any last words?
Thank you so much, Joshua. It was a pleasure.